Hi, my name's Gabriella. Welcome to my channel where we talk about loads of theatre and creative things and do lots of creative things as well. I'm working really hard on blending in with my wall today. But that aside, I've been talking a lot about my drama school audition experiences recently, and to add on to the big discussions I've been having, I thought it'd be really useful to go over overdone audition songs, and more specifically ones that people may consider to be less known, but actually when you turn up to auditions everyone kind of knows them. So there's big myths that there are certain songs you shouldn't do for auditions. Like, you probably shouldn't take material from the show you're auditioning to that audition unless you're specifically asked to. But 9 times out of 10, even if the song is really well known, as long as you can sing it amazingly, it probably isn't going to matter that much how well known it is. Saying that, it can be really good to bring in more unique songs. It can potentially help you stand out a little bit, but probably more of the bigger thing is that when you bring a song in that everyone knows, there's a bit of expectation and excitement around it. Several times when people have said to me what song they're singing, or I've said to other people what song they're singing, if they know it, if it's one of the songs on this list I'm about to go through, there's usually quite a lot of excitement about it, and people being like, oh my god, I love that song, that's so incredible, can't wait to hear you sing it. And it depends what kind of person you are, but a lot of people might then feel a bit more additional pressure on them to be singing that song, which you don't want additional pressure in an audition. Also, not just pressure from the people around you, but the people on the audition panel. If they know the song really well as well, if it's a song they love, they're gonna have a bit more expectation about it. And so whether or not you're putting more pressure on yourself, they might have a bit more expectation from you in their heads because they know the song so well and they've heard it so many times. And that is definitely not the case in all situations, but it's one of the reasons why you might want to go for a more unique song, which kind of gave me the inspiration for this video. So this is a list of 10 songs that I hear a lot in auditions, or in general in workshops, classes, etc. that are in general from shows that when most people hear about them, they think they're really unique and they've discovered something not very well known. But in actual fact, these songs, whether the show is well known or not, these individual songs are very well known once you get deeper into the theatre community. People either don't know them or know them incredibly well and usually love them, and there doesn't seem to be much in between. And so it's not just a list of me going, don't sing this song, don't sing this song. I have some alternative suggestions for you that are very similar in theme and style, and basically just a suitable replacement for the song that I'm saying is incredibly popular. And if you're thinking about doing it, maybe you should have a second thought about it. Not saying you shouldn't sing these songs, just for all the reasons I've just given about why you maybe don't want to sing a quite well-known song. This is just giving you a heads up that if you've heard of any of these songs and think, oh, this is a really obscure song, I'm just here to tell you it isn't. And also, just one more quick preface, I'm from the UK. This is what I've noticed from being in the UK. In other countries, or maybe even different areas of the UK, I'm down south, I'm near London, I'm in London a lot. In other areas, what's popular may be different, what's well known may be different. But for UK drama schools in general, and from what I've heard from teachers about general industry auditions, these are kind of the overdone, unknown songs. So, starting the list off with probably one of the biggest ones out there is Astonishing from Little Women. It's definitely a show that I thought was really obscure and unknown when I first heard of it, but trust me, everyone and their cat has heard of Astonishing. I literally heard a UK casting director say last week that they had heard it too many times. So my alternative suggestion for you is The Fire Within Me, which is from the same show, sung by the same character, and it even has a section which is sort of a little reprise from Astonishing. Like Astonishing, both songs are quite long, so you need to doctor them for an audition cut regardless, but if you get the right audition cut, it could be a very good substitute. It's definitely not as well known as Astonishing. Second on this list is All Falls Down from Chaplin. I have literally lost count of how many times I've heard this song. It's very well known, and my suggestion for a replacement would be You Can Always Count on Me from City of Angels. Now, I know City of Angels is having a UK revival at the minute, or it's meant to be. Hopefully theatres will reopen before it's meant to finish its run, because it was limited run only until September. They had a week or two of shows before lockdown happened, and hopefully if theatres open in August they'll have another month afterwards, so maybe this song will pick up again more. But on the whole, it's a known show, but I think people don't necessarily delve into the music all that often, and I think this is just quite a good similar song. They're both talking about men but from opposite angles, but they both bring the same kind of powerhouse attitude to it. Number 3 is Maybe I Like It This Way from The Wild Party, which I used to sing that song at auditions, and I didn't actually hear anyone else sing it. I don't think I've ever heard anyone else actually sing it, but I've heard of a lot of people who have said, yes, this is in my audition rep. I've heard of a lot of people singing it, I just haven't personally heard it. But I did again get that reaction, either people not knowing it or getting quite excited about it when I told them. So my suggestion for an alternative song is Her or Me from Miss Saigon, which has actually been cut in the most recent version, and I think was replaced with another song first and then just altogether cut. So you need to kind of dig into the archives to find it. Great song. It's got the same style and range, and it's got a similar mood and topic as well. So quite a good replacement, I think. Number 4, Gimme Gimme from Thoroughly Modern Millie. This is like the same level well known as Astonishing. I think it's also more well known that it's more well known. So I think people do steer away from it a bit more, but it still 100% has that same excitement that people get when they hear Astonishing. And my alternative suggestion is Wherever He Ain't from Mac and Mabel. Great show, I only heard about it recently, but it has some really great music. Wherever He Ain't is just very similar, up-tempo, belter, great fun. Number 5, Lost in the Brass from Band Geeks. I know this show purely because of the number of times I've heard this song. I don't know any of the other music to it, I just know this one song. It's a great song, just hear it a lot. My suggestion for a replacement is Gotta Get Out from Ordinary Days. I similarly only know this show because of this song, but it's a great one, and I think I've only ever heard it once before at a workshop, and that's how I found out about the song. Don't hear many people talking about the show or the song otherwise. I've heard the show mentioned a couple times, but it's a great song, similar sort of style, maybe a little bit more up-tempo, but it's got a great energy to it. Number 6, the only song I have for guys on this list, but that is Santa Fe from Newsies. I think in the US this show is probably very definitely not unknown, but in the UK it's definitely becoming more well known, but there's still a lot of people who don't know about the show, or know about the show but have never listened to it, never heard it, never seen it. But it's an incredibly popular song. For guys, there seem to be like a select few songs that you hear just done all the time, and Santa Fe is one of them. And my I actually have 2 replacement suggestions, both from the same show, and that is Hope or Senor from Zorro the Musical. It's a bit out there, I know, but it's got music by the Gypsy Kings, which is fantastic. They're both absolute bangers of songs, and no one seems to know that they exist. Senor wasn't in the original production, it wasn't around for a while, it got added in later, so it's not in the original cast recording, but if you can find footage or like soundtrack or audio of it somewhere, would definitely recommend listening to both. They are great songs. Number 7, Watch What Happens, also from Newsies. So this is like the only female solo in Newsies, so if girls are going for a song from that show, this is the one they go for. It's popular. My suggestion for a replacement is Who Needs Love from Ever After the Musical. It's got the same sort of tempo, but I think it actually has a bit more range, like vocally, to show off what you can do. Like it's in the same vocal type, but just the range of what the song allows you to do, in my opinion, is a bit greater than Watch What Happens from Newsies. Different topic matter, but yeah, depending on how you do the cuts, I think it just allows you to do a lot more. Number 8. Pretty Funny from Dogfight. I think people when they find Dogfight think it's some obscure unknown show, but especially with all the attention Pascal and Paul have gotten from Dear Evan Hansen and La La Land and Greatest Showman, and with Dear Evan Hansen constantly doing open calls to young people for the casting, and many people have probably considered doing Dogfight for auditions. So my suggestion is another song from Zorro, which is The Man Behind the Mask. I think it's got a very similar tone and also still within the same vocal range. It shows off the same range in your voice. Number 9, I'm Not Afraid of Anything from Songs for a New World. First of all, why are you taking Jason Robert Brown to an audition? You're a poor pianist. Yeah, I've heard it quite a lot and there tends to be quite a lot of excitement around it, I think, in my experience. My suggestion for another song is, I know I just said why are you doing Jason Robert Brown an audition, but another one from Songs from New World is Surabaya Santa, because I think it just gets overlooked a lot. It's great fun. It's also similarly a good belter. It's obviously a similar style because it's from the same show and everything, but it's just good fun and seems to have slipped under the radar a little bit more, I think. And finally, number 10, They Just Keep Moving the Line from Smash. The TV show seems to be having a bit of a comeback recently, but regardless, as one of the only musical theatre TV shows out there, it's kind of well known. And my suggestion for an alternative song is Screw Loose from Crybaby. A little bit of a unique one, but it's so much fun. I've only ever heard one person do it at an audition. Not many people seem to know it exists, and yeah, it's a really great song. Obviously, you don't need to do any of the songs I've suggested, or you can do the songs that I've suggested are overdone. It's all completely up to you. It's just ideas and recommendations. If you want ideas for finding other less well-known songs, a couple of suggestions for you would be to find other shows written by the same writers, which is what I think people have done with Pasek and Paul and Finding Dogfight, but you can go down that vein and several writers do have a lot of other shows that people genuinely don't know about. And you can also look at roles that other performers have played. So if you find a role that you think you would be well suited to, or if you've got a song and you think it's, oh, maybe a bit overdone, look who played that role originally or just in any cast and see what other kind of work they've done, what other characters they've done, and look for songs that they've sung in other shows. And hopefully through that you can find a less well-known song, but that's still the same type and in the same range and would suit you. You could also do something brand new. So as soon as a show comes out, you could be hot on that and go take that material as audition material. Depending on the scale of the show, maybe not in the same country though. So for example, Beetlejuice in America, when that first came out, quite a lot of people in the UK, like even if they had heard of it, they maybe hadn't heard the songs, or they definitely, most people probably hadn't seen the show. So maybe not now, because I think it's blown up quite a bit more and people have had the opportunity to go see it, especially casting directors, people auditioning for drama schools have probably seen it, listened to it, heard it, been shown it by their students, etc. But initially when it first comes out, they might not have heard it yet, so you could go introduce them to that material. And if it's not on the West End or on Broadway, you could look at other shows like regional ones or just smaller scale productions in the same country as you, or even if there's just a concert version first, or there's a lot of musical theatre style songs written that aren't put into shows, they're just done in cabaret evenings and things. You can look at things like those because more likely than not as many people will have seen them or know about them. So as I've been saying in all my other audition videos, to keep on top of what's going on in the industry, this is another reason why it's really good to keep on top of what's going on, because you can get new audition material from it that other people won't have heard of, and you can be the one to introduce them to a great new show, a great new song. And that will also help make you stand out, because you'll be showing that you've done your research, you know what you're talking about in this industry, you're out there pioneering. Obviously, if a show then massively blows up, you might later need to drop it from your rep. Like with Beetlejuice, probably wouldn't sing it now. But it's always a great starting point. So there's just a few thoughts I had about supposedly unknown songs that actually everyone kind of knows quite a bit about, and just my thoughts on what you should do about them. And this is all my opinion. You could do whatever you want. This is just to help you find audition material, really, because everyone always needs that. If you've got any other suggestions of songs that you've heard done way too many times, or any really unique songs that you've heard of that you think would be great for people to do and no one's heard of them except you, it seems. Love to hear about those. Always love to learn new songs, new material, so definitely let me know down in the comments. And if you want to see more stuff like this, make sure to give this video a like and subscribe so you can see new stuff as it comes out. I'm making quite a lot of videos right now, kind of. Stick around and find out. So I hope you're doing well, and I will see you very soon in a new video, hopefully. Okay, bye!